Hello everyone, this is Ashok Gajjala, Assistant Professor, Department of ECE, St. Mary's Women's Engineering College. Here I am making lectures on switching theory, logic design, R19 regulation JNTU Kakinada for the Department of ECE. In this lecture especially I will concentrate on Unit 5. The name of the Unit 5 is Sequential Circuits 2. So this is the outline of this chapter. So this chapter is mainly concentrate on finite state machines. So I will discuss here what it mean by finite state machine, why we can call it as a finite state machine, and what are state diagrams and state tables, and why we need to reduce the state reduction techniques, and at the same time analysis of clocked sequential circuits and Mealy to Murray model, Murray to Mealy model conversions, and realization of sequence generator, and at the same time design of clocked sequential circuits to detect a particular sequence with overlapping, without overlapping. So this is the outline of the chapter. Now I am going to first I am going to discuss what is buffer and what is control buffer. So what are the uses of them? Because one of the student have asked this question, unknowingly I have missed that concept to deal in video lecture. So that's why I have included fourth unit concept, buffer and control buffer concepts. So once that the topic is finished, I just skip into the unit 5. So this is the concept which I left in I mean to say that in fourth unit. And what is buffer resistor and control buffer resistors? So registered buffer resistors are the type of resistors used to store a binary word. Okay, how we can construct such a so-called buffer resistors? These can be constructed using series of flip-flops. Okay, flip-flops are used to construct the registers. So as each flip-flop can have the capabilities to store single bit. Why? Because I have told you so many times. So you get two outputs, right? Two outputs in that one is actual output, another is complementary output in flip-flops especially. So that means the flip-flop has the capability to store a single bit. So we are here we are constructing the registers with the series connection of flip-flops. And the third point here is this means in order to store n-bit binary word, what you have to do? So one should design an array of n flip-flops. So if you want to store n-bit word, n-bit binary word, you need to connect n number of array of flip-flops together to store n-bit binary word. And I have taken two examples. So 4-bit synchronous buffer resistor. So by forming the 4 positive edge triggered D flip-flops, I have used D flip-flops here to let you know this concept. And in that diagram, what I have to try to load a 4-bit number that is maybe called as B1, B2, B3, B4. So these are the 4 bits of binary number onto the register at the clock at a single clock tick. So which means that every leading edge of the clock signal, the values of flip-flop output follows their input bits. Say for example, you are having 1, 1, 1, 1. So first B4 will be for first clock edge. B1 is sent to Q1. After clock edge 2, clock edge to B, first B1 is sent to the Q1. Once that reaches the output, Q1 is goes to input of flip-flop 2. Then B2 will appear at the flip-flop 1. What it means? So you just come to the diagram. This is the 4-bit buffer registered. See what I am trying to doing here is, see this is a buffer register. I mean 1 1 1 1. So for positive edge of the clock, what I am trying to tell is, for one click edge of the positive clock will be provided here. So clock is a signal which can control the operation of D flip-flop. So then at a one edge of the clock, all values are sent to D1 and reaches Q1. Q1, Q2 and Q3 are the outputs. So what I am trying to tell you, the problem in this case, the problem in this case is the input flow data. We do not have any control on input data and output data. So that's the problem with the buffer register. So we need to overcome that buffer, that thing by using control buffer register concept. So but first you need to understand the concept of 4-bit buffer register. Say for example, this is the clock signal. See, this is positive edge. These are called positive edges, and each positive edge 1 bit is sent to the output. Okay, see at this positive edge B1, see first positive edge. So this one, this is Q4. That means for B4 is the positive edge, right? So 1 bit is sent to the Q4, and after some time at B3 positive edge, logic 1 is sent to the Q3, output of flip-flop 3, and after some time this one, I mean to say that B2 will send 1 at raising edge, positive raising edge to Q2, and rest of the things happen like that. So this is the way how a data is loaded into the registers. Okay, this is about the 4-bit buffer register, but we do not have any control over it. Or it means on inputs and outputs. So it can automatically sense the data, whatever the input data you are getting, to the output, but we do not have any control on it. So to control the inputs and outputs, so you need a additional requirement. So that is called this blue line. Blue line is called load or write. This red line is called read. Okay, this is the additional arrangement in 4-bit controlled buffer. So what I am doing here is, see, buffer registers offers no means of control over the inputs, which in turn leads to the controlled output. In order to overcome this drawback, one can resort to the control buffer concept. So in this design, control buffer design, tri-state switches are used to control the operation of loading and/or retrieval of data to or from the buffer register. Okay, so one has to fill the load data or write data control lines low in order to store the data into register. That means what I'm trying to tell you. So this whatever this LD bar or W bar, if you set to the 0, then the data is loaded. Whatever the data you have given here, say for example 1 0 1 0, this data is loaded into the flip-flop. That's what I am talking about. LD bar equal to 0. So say for example LD equal to 1, then LD bar is 0. So when this entire control line is at low, what happens? So the data is loaded to the D1, D2, D3 and D4, and at the same time next point is this. So control line and stores the data into register, while RD control line should be made low to read the data from. So that means, so RD bar, say for example RD equal to, you imagine RD equal to 0, RD bar is RD equal to 1, RD bar is 0. In such a situation, this Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 gets the data from the flip-flop. So what you have to keep in mind, so LD or W bars, if you keep that line equal to 0, then the data is whatever the input data is given, B1, B2, B3, B4, that data is loaded into the flip-flop and reaches to the output. So whatever the current state of the present state of the this buffer register would be the outputs, right? Would be the outputs. Those outputs can be read when you set this red line to 0 low, 0. That means low. Then the data is readed and it will be displayed as a single word. This is about the buffer registered and control buffer register. Now, whatever the discussed so far is the due concept of 4th unit. Now I am going to give you or to teach you the 5th unit. First, you just come to the introduction. So in introduction, one should keep in mind that the sequential circuits are the collection of memory elements and the combinational logic circuits. So what are the sequential circuits? Sequential circuits are the collection of memory elements and combinational logic circuits. And at the same time, second point is this. So the binary information stored in memory element at any given time is defined as the state of the sequential circuits. So second point, third point, present content of the memory elements is referred as a current state. Present content of the memory elements is referred as a current state. And coming to the fourth point, the combinational logic circuit receives the signal from external inputs. This is what you need to keep in mind. So combinational logic circuits receives the signal from external inputs and from the memory outputs. So these two together, I mean to say that the external input and the memory input determines the output, external output. They also determines the condition and binary values to change the state of memory. That means initially the memory contains logic 1. So your external input and the I mean to say that the present state or the current state, these two acts as input that decides the new output value. So that means that the process of this whatever I have telling here, that we can call the change of state of memory. And what it mean by new content? So the new contents of the memory elements are referred as a next state, depends upon the external input and present state. And hence a sequential circuits can be completely specified by the time sequence of inputs, outputs and internal states. The major advantage of clock is used to control the operation, and the speed of the sequential circuits can be decided by the clock frequency. These are the basic points you need to keep in mind to study fifth unit. And I'm just skipping to the introduction. In introduction, the sequential circuits are classified into two categories. Those are synchronous, asynchronous. Now my question, what is asynchronous? So asynchronous means a sequential circuit whose behavior depends on upon the sequence in which the inputs are applied is called asynchronous sequence. That means these circuits outputs are affected whenever a change in inputs is detected. That means, so for a given input you will get the output. That means if the input is altered, automatically output will be altered. So such a sequential circuits we can call asynchronous sequential circuits. But whereas in case of synchronous sequential circuits may be defined as whose state can be affected at any discrete instance of time. Synchronization is achieved by using timing device termed as system clock generator, which generates periodic train of clock pulses. That means the output of the synchronous sequential circuit depends upon the clock signal. So that's it. And all state variables in the sequential circuits are binary in nature. Therefore, the total possible states of sequential circuits having the variable n is 2 power n. Total possible states are the 2 power n. Say for example, you have taken n flip-flops. Imagine yourself. So then how many states are there? 2 power n possible states. Say for example, you have taken 2 flip-flops, 2 power 2. So how many states you will get? 4 possible states. Say for example, n equal to 1. How many states you can get? 2 power 1, 2. That means 2 possible states. So estimating of the state of a sequential circuit is the major step in designing finite state machines. So even for the larger values of n, the number of possible state is finite. This is an important point. Even for the larger values of small n, the number of possible states in the sequential circuit is finite. Finite means it's not infinite states. N itself is a discrete, right? So if the n is discrete means it's a finite. Automatically, the possible states in a sequential machine is also finite. Therefore, I can rename sequential circuits is referred as a finite state machine. Finite state machine. So it can be shortcut FSM. So that's it. Now I am going to give you a broader view on what are the finite state machines, what it contains. Say for example, a typical sequential system is composed with inputs, with the internal states which are stored in the memory, outputs, next state decoder and output decoder. These are the principal components which are present in the finite state machine, may be labeled as a sequential machine, and these are about the components of finite state machine. And coming to the blue highlighted content, so the current state or the present state of a circuit is stored in memory elements. The memory can be any device capable of storing information to specify the state of the system. And how can I estimate what it mean by next state, what it mean by output? So the next state is nothing but, so this is nothing but is a function of input and current state. Next state can be estimated by this equation. G is the function of whom? Function of inputs and current state. Current state, where it will be available? It will be available from the memory. So you need a decoder to decode the particular information from the memory. That's why we need a current state decoder. Decoder. And output is also is a function of f, is a function, can be represented by f, and it is also input and current state. And what you are watching on screen on right side, this is the model for finite state machine. This is output function. These are the state registers which can hold the state registers is nothing but memory. So where the outputs are stored, all states are stored, and this is next state generation function, and these are the inputs, and the current state is feedbacked as an input. So this is about the next state and the current state and the output. So this is the general view of FSM, and FSM are classified into basically 5 categories. So these categories comes into the 2 models. So those models we can call the Mealy model and Murray model. So what it mean by Mealy and Murray model? See, the class A machine, what I have listed here, class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. These machines are designed, class A machine is defined as a Mealy machine, which is named after G.H. Mealy. He is a scientist, and the basic property of Mealy machine is that the output function depends on output function of present input condition and the current state of the machine. That means the output function depends upon the present input and the current state of the machine. Current state of the machine is stored in the memory locations, right? This is machine. Mealy machine depends upon what? Present state input and the current state of the machine. And coming to class C, class B and class C is defined as a Murray machines. This can be label means named after E.F. Murray. In Murray machine, output is associated. Output will be associated only with the current state. There is no any inputs. The state of the machine acts as an input. Current state, present state. This is about the Murray machine. The content of Murray machine, counters are say for example, the counters are the Murray machines, as the output depends on the only state of memory elements. And another example Murray machine is sequence detector and serial adder for the example of Mealy machine. So now I have discussed in this slide classification of machines. This classification of machines has done into 2 categories, Mealy based and Murray based. So what it mean by Mealy? So in Mealy machine, the output is the combination of the present input and current state of the sequential machine. And coming to the point of Murray machine, the output is the function of the current state of the sequential circuits or the finite state machine. So now these are the block diagram notations of Mealy, class A machine and class B machine and class C. See, what I have to tell you is, see, this is output. So you have taken the current state as the input. These are the inputs. These 2 present state input, this is the present state input, these are the current state, the The current state will be achieved from the state registers, because whatever the output you have get, these output results are stored in the state registers. So if you want the status of the past outputs, this can be feedback to the input. That's why I have taken these lines, current state as a input and actual input present here. These two both together creates the next generation, next state function. Next state function is nothing but output function. The next state will be stored in state registers. But in case of class B machine, see, the current state only acts as a input. So based on this, the next state of the output will be decide. So even class C is also the same approach. So no need not separate output function here in class C. And if you look at the class D and class E, in class G, so state state registers, we need memory element and next generation decoder also. So we just have inputs and you just get the output through the state registers. So that means output equal to current state. And in class E machine, so you need not require next state function. So next state input itself is the input to the state registers. You will get the directly current state of the registers as a output. These are the differences between the class A, class B, class C, class D, class E. Now just I'm going to explain here how to design finite state machines or the design of clocked sequential circuits. So here we are having, I mean to say that, so 5 steps are most important. In first step 1, you need to estimate the number of states needed. And if there is n states, then at least you do required log n base 2 flip-flops needed to represent these states. And once in first step 1, you need to estimate the number of states do you required and how many flip-flops do you want. And come to the second step. So once you done that, you need to draw the state diagram. The state diagram will tells you a clear information. So what is the input to a particular state and where the output of that state will go. So this to go as a next state. So what outputs to be generated in each combination of inputs. This entire stuff will be represented in form of a state diagram. Once that state diagram you have built, so you just make state table from the state diagram. So current state can be represented on left side, and I mean to say that the corresponding next state will be represented right side to the current state table, and output will be represented on right side beside of next state. This is about the third step, and the fourth step is to design next state decoder and output decoder using state table. So if D flip-flops are used, then Qi plus 1 of the flip-flop can be used directly as the Di to set the flip-flop. That means if you give the input to logic 1, you will get the output to logic 1. So that's why I have done this step. If another type of flip-flops are used, you need to keep in the excitation table or the truth table to deal with these kind of state transitions. And simply the function by K-map, simplify the function, by K-map and implement the next state and output decoders at logic gate level. These are the 5 fundamental steps to design the finite state machine. So, as a quick review, so the first point is sequential circuits is made up of flip-flops and combination logic circuits. And the design of the circuit consists of choosing the flip-flops, then finding the combination logic structure, which together the flip-flops and flip-flops produces the circuit and fulfills the required specifications. And after that you need to estimate the number of flip-flops required to implement from the number of states needed in the circuit. This is about the introduction to the finite state machines. Now I am going to tell you what is state diagram. So state diagram is the pictorial representation of sequential circuits. So here I mentioned it. Pictorial representation of sequential circuits, it clearly shows transition of states from present state to next state and output for the corresponding input. So that means that state diagram will tells you all the states from present state to next state and the output corresponding to the input. And most important point is in this diagram, each present state is represented inside a circle like this. Say for example, you are having state A and state B. Like this you have to mention. And the transition from present state to next state is represented by the directed line connecting to the circle. That means, say for example, from A to B, like this. And if the directed line connects the circle itself, you indicate that there is no change in the output. Okay, that means like this you have to represent. It ends at A itself, right? In that like that you have to mention. So for Mealy model, direct line is labeled with binary numbers. So Mealy model, but in case of Moore model it is different. Okay, you need to identify that difference. Okay. So in direct line is labeled with binary numbers, separated with slash, shown in below diagram. I will show you it. Okay, don't worry. So input value which causes the transition to occur is labeled as 1 slash. So below this you can represent the output. Okay, output corresponding to particular transition. The output produces for the corresponding input is labeled as input divided by output. This is about the transition, and these are the Mealy model and Moore model. See, in Moore model, this is state 1, state B, state D, state C. See, from A, the input is 1 and the output is 0. So, in such a case, where it going? It going to B. And this is about the how we are considering. This is called transition. So, but whereas in case of this Moore model, the output of the state in a Moore model, direct lines are labeled with only 1-bit binary number. It is nothing but input value which causes to transition. Input value to causes to transition. That's I represented here 1, this is 0, 1, this is 0. The output is indicated inside the circle below the present state. So that means a, small b, small d, small c are the output are the present state, and whatever I have mentioned a slash below. So the 0 here, 1 here, 0 here, these are called the output corresponding to the input. So what is the input to B? 1. What is output? Output is also 1. Okay, this is in Moore model the output depends on the present state, not on the input. Okay, present state itself decides the where it go. And this is about the Mealy model and Moore model. So, but as case of Mealy model, each transition may contains the input and corresponding output. So why I am doing like this? So the input is 1, output is also 1. So from B to nowhere it will go. That's why it ends at B itself. It starts input 1 and output is also 1. So where it happens like that? At B. So that's it. So now you have understand what is state diagram. So now this diagram, this entire diagram we can call state diagram. State diagram. This is also. But the models are different. First one is Mealy model and second one is Moore model. And what is state table? So the information contained in a state diagram is transformed into a table called state table or the synthesis table. State table may also called synthesis table. Although the state diagram describes the behavior of the sequential circuits, in order to implement the circuit, it has to be transformed into tabular form. Why we need a tabular form? So even though the state diagram explains the concept, clear-cut concept, why you need a state table? Because to build a circuit. So the below table shows the state table for Mealy state machine model. So you can see it as the present state. So here is the present state. This is the machine. So the present state are A, B, C, D. And next state I have represent here. In the next state it may be x equal to 0, x equal to 1. There are two cases, right, for the present state. X equal to maybe the next state may be 0 or 1. That's why I have representing here x equal to 0, x equal to 1 case. And finally the present state is the state table before the occurrence of clock pulse. For the after the application of clock pulse, depending upon the input, the state has changes. It indicates in the next state column and produces the input is represented in the last column. Okay. So these are the output when x equal to 0 inputs. These are the output when x equal to 1. So how I build this state table? You have a look here to understand this concept. So for example, this is A. In A, okay. So how I can do that? A equal to this is A. From A, so where it has to go? With input 0. With input 0, output 1. Input 0, output 1. So that means input 0, output 1 case is this. And once the output is getting 1, so from this is the output of A acts as an input, that is logic 1 divided by with 0 output, this is 0 output, it will direct it towards B. towards B. Why? So the arrow mark decides that. That's why I have represent A x equal to 0 and B. Now if you come to B, B will direct it towards C when the input equal to 0 and output is also 0. So it goes to C and produces the output 0. Whatever the output is 0 acts as input to the C. So that's and the output is also 0 for 0 input, that's why 0 by 0 here, and 0 by 1, I mean 1 by 0. And C goes to D. C goes to D. That means at C x equal to 0, at C x equal to 0, 0 input, and the corresponding output is 0. And at the same time from C x equal to 1, x equal to 1, x equal to 1, sorry, so x equal to 1 is 0, and final one you take the D state from D to A. It will go from D to A, and so first one is D to D, so that's why I have represent D to D. So what is the input? Output is 1 and input is 0, because x is 0, right? That's why input is 0, output is 1. Next coming to D, D goes to A with input 1. So that's why I have mentioned 0. And what is the output of this state? Already 0 is the input, that's why output of this state is 0. I have mentioned them clearly here. So x equal to 0 condition, the output is 1. This is the state table representation. And in case of Moore emission, so what you have to keep in mind, the table shown below is the table for Moore state machine. Since Moore state machine model, the outputs depends on only present state and last column has only output. So there is no any corresponding inputs. See, the present state is A, B, C, D. So the next state might be x equal to 0 input, x equal to 1, and the corresponding values here. So for example, if you look at A, this is A, the output from A is 0. So A goes, this is A to B, x equal to 1 is the input. So now this is the arrow mark which goes to A to B, but with input x equal to 1. That's why I have mentioned here x. But if you look at this A to A, so you have to draw like this and mention the input x equal to 0. This is 0, x equal to. In the same fashion, if you come to B, so B goes to C. when x equal to 0. So B goes to C when x equal to 0, and B goes to B when x equal to 1. That's why I have represent like this. And coming to C is here. This is the output. C divided by 0. 0 is the output. From C to C, the input is 0. That's why I have written like this. And C to D with x equal to 1, output is 0. So with x equal C to D with x equal to 1 with output 0. This is about the next D2. This is D2D with output 0. I mean with input 0, and D goes to A without A with output 0, but the input is 1. This is about the building a state table from the state model, state diagram. So next, what it mean by state reduction? Why we have to do the state reduction? Because if you look at the while designing sequential circuits, it is very important to remove. It is very important to remove the redundant states. This is important. So the removal of redundant states will reduce the number of flip-flops and logic gates, hereby reducing the cost and size of the sequential circuits. This is the use of state reduction. So what it mean by redundant? So two states are said to be redundant if the output and the next state produce for each and every input are the same. Then such states we can call redundant states. Those can be removed without altering the input and output relationship. This method we can call the state elimination method or state reduction method. So it can be explained very easily by using problems. So the problem solving will help you to understand the depth of the concept. Say for example, here you have taken the Mealy model. Mealy model. So for example, these are the state table with states A, B, C, D, and so on E. So if you have an analysis on state table, you can understand that for B and E, so current state and the corresponding outputs both are the same. Such a thing we can call the equivalent states. Then these are in the redundant state. So once there is a redundancy takes place, you have to remove the LSBs, most significant, least significant bit, that is E. So E will be removed, and this is the reduction state table. So you have to draw the state diagram. Say this is the truth table, right? I mean state table. So how can I draw the state diagram? See how many states are there? A, B, C, D. See, so you have to draw A, B, C, D, E. See, A, B, C, D, E. So first you do analysis here. So x equal to 0, that means input is 0. So it goes to B. So A will be goes to B, and the input is 0, output is also 0. So you can see here, and this is A to B and A to C. So A to C, this is directed line. So with input equal to x, input is 1 and output is 0. So this is forward. And coming to B, so where is B? B is here, and B is here. So B to B, what is the input? 0, and output is also 0. That's why B to B means you have to write like this. So 0 by 0, and so this is B to B means input is 0, output is 0, x equal to, okay. Next B to D, so where is D? D is here. So you have to B to D direct line, you have to draw like this. So B to D, what is the input? X is 1, and what is the corresponding output? 0. B to D is 0. And you just come to C to B is the directed line, and what is the input? X is input, that is 0, and the corresponding output is also 0. And you just come to here, and B to C is over. C to A, that means you just draw like this. C to A, so C to A means x is 1 and the output is 0. And D to B, and D to C, this is the state diagram for the reduced state table. And one more example, same way I have to build a state table from the state diagram and find out the equivalent states and remove one, and this is the reduced one. So for this you have to build A, B, C, D. Which one removed? D. So D removed. So this is the reduced state diagram. Why we are reducing the states? To remove certain flip-flops, so which are useless in the circuit. And these are the different state diagrams of different flip-flops. So which are the flip-flops? So this is very important. They might ask in draw the state diagram SR flip-flop, draw the JK flip-flop state diagram, and with T flip-flop also. So how many states, current states are there in flip-flops? Only 2. What are those? Q equal to 0, Q equal to 1. 2 states. That's why everywhere state can be represented with circle, right? That's why I have represent with circles everywhere. Then S equal to R equal to 0, when equal to 0, this is the case. Like that I have developed all I mean to say that state diagram for different flip-flops. So you just go through the state tables of SR, JK, D and T flip-flop by them you have built these state diagrams. I have explained already how to build the state diagram from the state table. That's why you need to understand. Next topic first I am going to teach here is Moore machine to Mealy conversion. So in some situations we need to convert one model to another model. So here the input is Moore machine and the output is Mealy machine. So we cannot directly convert the Moore machine to its equivalent Mealy machine because of length of the Moore machine is longer than that of Mealy machine for a given input. So to convert Moore machine into the Mealy machine, the state output symbols are distributed into input paths. The state output symbols are distributed into the input symbol paths. Okay, so now we are going to use the following method to convert the Moore machine to the Mealy machine. The method of conversion of Moore machine to Mealy machine as follows. Say for example, let M is equal to Q comma summation comma and del and lambda and Q naught be the Moore machine, and the equivalent Mealy machine can be represented like this. So the output function lambda dash of Q comma A equal to lambda of delta of Q comma A. This is the formula. So don't confuse. We will deal this concept with an example, then you can understand very easily. So let's come to an example. So this is an example. So this state diagram has given like this. So this is equivalent Mealy machine. So what you have to do? So Moore machine to Mealy machine. So how can I identify whether it is a Mealy machine or a Moore machine? See, from one state to another state only inputs are present. So the outputs are present inside the current state or the present state. So this is state 1, state Q0, state Q1. The outputs corresponding to that state is represented inside the circle itself. So if the outputs are mentioned in such a manner, so we can directly come to the conclusion this is Moore machine. So now in first step what you have to do is you need to construct the state table from it. How many states are there? Say first you take these states. So Q0 and Q1 in first column, and that's called the present state and present state inputs. So what are the inputs? These are the A and B are the inputs, and the corresponding output can be represented by the lambda. So now you just concentrate on Q0. So from Q0, what is where A is going, what are the incoming nodes and outgoing nodes, you need to identify first. So from Q0 to Q1 there is a input B. So the input B is there now, that's why you need to mention here Q1. So Q0 goes to Q1, Q0 goes to Q0. So but the input is A, so that's why I have mentioned here Q0. So what is the output? So the output of the Q0 is 0. That's why I have written here 0. And coming to the state Q1. In state Q1, where it goes? So Q1 goes to Q0, but the input is A. So that's why I have written here Q1 with state A Q0. And one more thing is there. So with B input, so it reaches to Q to Q. So that's why I mean Q1 to Q1. That's why I have mentioned here Q1. So what is the output? The output is written here. That's 1. That's why I have written here 1. This is the state table equivalent to the state diagram. Now to obtain the Mealy emission, we need to do some maths. So already I have given output equation. This is Mealy output equal to in terms of Murray. So lambda of delta of Q naught comma A. First you need to find for A. In case of state Q naught. In state Q naught how much? So delta of A is Q naught, right? So Q naught comma Q naught is Q naught. That's why delta of Q naught, so output of Q naught is 0. I have written directly here. In the same fashion, delta of Q naught comma B. So delta of lambda of delta of Q naught comma B, second variable. So what is the answer for B? B also Q1. So delta of Q1. So delta of Q1, what's the output? Output is how much? Delta of Q1 output is 1. So you know this is output. Output is 1. So now one pair is completed for at the instant at the current state Q naught. So you have found the values for output with input A and B. In the state of Q1, for the inputs A and B, what would be the outputs equivalent to the Mealy? So that will be done here for lambda for the state Q1. So delta lambda dash of Q1 comma A. So you have written like this. So now Q1 comma A, Q1 comma A. So delta of Q1 Q1 comma A means Q naught. Okay. So what would be the remaining answer? In such a case, Q naught will be the answer. Okay, even though it is Q1 comma Q naught, so output would be the Q naught. That's why it's 0. And coming to lambda dash of Q1B, lambda of delta of Q1 comma B. So Q1 comma B, B is how much? Q1. Q1 comma B. B is also Q1. So what would be the output? Output is 1. So now you are having 4 different outputs with you. So with inputs also, you know. So by using these equations, you need to build the new state table which belongs to Mealy machine. So this is the new state table. So first this is the inputs, and this can represent the state. So input 0, input 1. Say for example Q naught. So when Q naught equal Q naught, state Q naught has the output 0, and state Q1 when the input is 0. So Q naught is that is also Q naught, right? For Q1 when the input is 0, the output is also belongs to Q naught. That's why I have mentioned here 0. And input 1, so states Q1 and Q2. So what happens Q1 and Q2? In both the cases output is 1. So you just come to here. That means A has the output. A is the input with output 0. Okay, and B is the input 1 with output 1. Okay. So this can be done by using the above calculations. Okay. So I mean to say that Q naught output q naught a, q naught comma a, output is 0, q naught comma b, output is 1. So q1 comma a, output is 0. That means for a, for a, what I am trying to tell you is this input g, this is a, input a, this is input b. Okay, for input a, for the state of q1 and q naught and q1, outputs are the zeros. And coming to b, in case see, this is b input, and q1 and q1 for b input, both are the ones in case of q naught, and in case of q1 for the input b, output is 1. So that's why I have mentioned this is 1 1. Okay, so now you come to the conclusion that, so you start q1 states can be represented by the circle 0 0, I mean circle, this is q naught, this is q1. And from the table what you have to understand, q naught to q naught state. So what would be the output? Output is 0. So q naught to q naught. So we can draw like this. So input is a, output is 0. So same q naught output is 0. Next, same q naught to q1. This is the next state. So q naught to q1 with input is b, output is 1. And coming to the second one, q1 to q naught, q1 to q naught, q1 to q naught. So what is that? It's a is the input, and output is 0. Here is the 0, right? q naught belongs to a, that's why I have represented a input and output is 0. And next one is q1 to q, this one, q1 to q means you have to represent like this. So with input b, so b divided by output is 1. So that's what I have represent. This is how you need to draw the conversion diagram. And now I am going to tell you the Mealy machine to Moore machine conversion. So this is vice versa, right? So Mealy to Moore, Moore to Mealy, these two. Okay. So now what are the basic steps? So step one for each state qi. So how many states are present in the problem? You need to understand. Calculate the number of different outputs, not number of different outputs that are available in the transition table for a Mealy machine. For Mealy machine, so different outputs. For each state, calculate the number of different outputs and copy the state qi if all outputs of qi are the same. So that means first you need to identify the for the same state different outputs, then for the same state same outputs, for different inputs same outputs. Break that same inputs into n stages, and if it has n distinct outputs, say for example same state has all the outputs of qi are the same, and break qi into n states if it has the outputs different. Okay, so if the output of the initial state is 0, insert a new state at starting which gives one output. So that means, say for example q1 at any point it gives same output 0, no issue, but q1 state can produce 1, Q1 state some other it produced 0. In this case you need to subdivide it. That's what I am talking. So let's start with problem. You can understand very well. This is the problem. So they have given state machine. So this is the state machine, and you just think Q1, Q2, Q4 and Q3 are the different states which presents in the sequential machine. And if you look at the Q1, so Q1 to Q1 with input A and output 1, and same Q1 to Q2 with input B, output 0. So that's why, see, look at the Q1, state A, next state variables, state B, the next state A and B, no. So with inputs A and B, with inputs A and B, states are Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4. For Q1, so for Q1 output is 1. So for same Q1 it goes to Q2, right? But with output 0. And coming to Q2 state, in Q2 state it goes to Q4. It goes to Q4 with output 1. Okay, and from Q2 to Q4 another state, same state, but it gives you the output 1 2 times. So that means for input variable A and input variable B, so it goes to same state. And come to Q3. So if you go think about Q3 to Q3 with output 1. So Q2 to Q3, Q3 to Q3 with output 1. And second one is Q3 through Q3 with output 1. And Q4. So think about Q4 to Q3 with 0 output, I have written here, and same Q4 to Q1 with output 1. See, look out here, with output 1, but input is B. This is how you need to construct the state table from the state diagram. Once you done this, you have to build the Murray machine. How can I do that? So first you need to split. Say for example, look at whatever the state diagram you have got. So for state Q1, there is only one incident edge with output 0. So we do not split into this state in mirror machine. For the state Q2, there is 2 incident edges with output 0, and 1. So we will split this state into 2 states, Q2 0 and Q2 1. That means with output 0, with output 1. So for the state Q3, there are 2 instances with output 0 and 1. So we will split this stage into 2 states, Q3 0 and Q3 1. For state 4, there is only one incident edge with output 0. With the instant edge with output 0. So we need not to split this state into Murray machine. So now you come to Q1. So Q1 A equal to 0, Q1 A equal to 1. Okay. Then if you look at Q2 0, Q2 0 when A equal to 0, that is Q4, same A equal to 1, Q4 with output 0, Q2 0, same Q4 but with output 1. Okay, next. Next come to Q3 0. Q2 0, Q2 1, Q2 1, it will go to A equal to 0, right? It will go Q3 0 will go to Q2 1. Why it is going to Q2 1? Because Q2 1 is value 1, right? That's why value 0. And one more, it will go through Q3 1 because it's 0. It's 0. And Q3 1, when there is a Q3 1, so it will go, Q3 1 goes to Q2 2 with A equal to 0, with Q3 1 A equal to 1. So outputs are 1. When Q4 goes to Q3 and Q4 as well with 1. The same table has represented here. See, look at this figure. So Q1 output is 1. So A goes to like this, and B is the input, but the output is 0. That's why I have represent Q2 0. Okay, output. Next state is from Q2 0 to A comma B. A comma B will goes to Q4, but with output is 1. So Q2 0 as 1 all, Q2 0 we do not require, Q2 1 we do not require, Q2 1 is undefined, right? So no need to connect any one. That's why I have represented here like this. Next, Q2 0 is over with 0 output, and come to next state Q4 with output 1. So Q4 will go to the Q1. So but the output with 1, see, this is matched. This one I am talking about. And Q4 to Q3 0. Q4 to Q3 0. Why Q3 0? Output 0, right? So that's why A is the input and the output is 0. And Q3 0 to with output 1, it will goes to with output 1, it will goes to Q3 1. Another state, right? So another state is 1. So then that one will go to Q2 1 somewhere, right? So it will come back. Q2 0 I have created here. It's over. But Q2 1 is required, right? Because Q2 1, this Q3 1 will come. So that's why I have splitted the states. So it is coming to Q2 1 is satisfied. Then Q2 1 from Q3 0, Q3, wait a second, and and Q3 to 1 is satisfied. Then Q0, these nodes are leave like we are not leave like that. Okay, that's why. So from Q3 0 to Q2 1, Q3 0 to Q2 1 with input 1. Okay, but the Q3 1 to Q2 1 is different with input 1, but Q3 0 to the Q2 1 is 1. So this is how we need to convert from I mean to say that Moore to Mealy machine. So sorry, Mealy to Moore machine. So what is the difference between? So in Moore machine, state transition doesn't have any output considerations. So this is another example in the same passion. So directly here state table is given. So these are the different states, and the state, I mean Mealy machine to Moore machine we have to convert. So here is the Moore machine, and if you look at see, you just compare this Q3. Here is also Q3 in next state, both are 0 0. Q0, so anywhere Q0 1 1, both are matched. Q2, so Q2 here is 1, here is 0. Q1 here is 1, here is 0, here is 1. So that's why I have split Q1 as into 2, Q2 is 2. So and the corresponding output 0 and 1, 0 and 1. Like that I have built this state table. So after that what I have to do is I have to remove these outputs. Here also these outputs I have removed. Then I will build this table. So this is the table look like. Then the Mealy to Moore conversion has done. These are the different examples I have given in real time. You go through the slides. And the sequence generator. So sequence generator is a one of kind of digital logic circuit. The main function of this is to generate the set of outputs. Every output is one of the number of binary or QRA logic or the symbols. So the length of the series may be indefinite, otherwise fixed. And a special kind of sequence generator is binary counter. So these generators are utilized in wide variety of applications like coding and control. Sequence generator circuit is used to generate the prescribed series of bits in synchronizing with the clock. So which sequence, first you need to keep in mind which sequence you have to generate. It depends upon the clock signal which is applied to the shift register. This kind of generator is used as a code generator, counters, random bit generator, sequence and prescriber period generator. So this is the sequence generator structure. Next state decoder and shift register, clock signal is given to the shift register. So from the next state decoder will produce the serial input. So this is the architecture of sequence generator. And sequence generator using counter. So these are the flip-flop outputs. So this is the another architecture of sequence generator. And so steps involved in designing sequence generator using D flip-flops. So what is the step 1? First we need to decide the number of flip-flops which would be necessary to get our objects. Okay. So the following example, 4 states are equal to the 2-bit counter. From this one can estimate necessity of flip-flops to be 2 in order to attain our object. From step 2, let's design the state transition table for the sequence generator through the initial 4 columns in the table. The primary 2 columns are specified the present state, next 2 columns are specified the next states, and that's it. So now this is the actual procedure. So these 2 are the present states, these 2 are the next state, and this is the flip-flop 1 output, flip-flop 2 output. And step 4, so you need to find the Boolean expression regarding to these 2 by using K-map. So from K-map only you got these expressions. So by using this expression you have built this sequence generator. That's it. Okay. Now analysis of clocked sequential circuits. So this is very important topic. So you just logic schematic, derive excitation sequence, first Boolean expression, then next state and output equations you have to identify, then generate next state and output tables, generate the state diagram and develop the timing diagram. This is the sequence of steps in the analysis. So let's take an example to get it. So this is a circuit, a sequential circuit with D flip-flops. Let's go with the example on analysis of clocked clocked sequential circuits with D flip-flops. So here is an example 1, and these are the 2 D flip-flops. So this is first one and this is second one. Here I have connected combinational logic circuits to the input. Already I have worked out a lot of stuff, I mean to say that with equations on this diagram already, but in analysis of sequential clocked sequential circuits, what you have to do is, so you have to find the Boolean expressions for the outputs. First I want to find out what is dA input equations and dB and final output equation ya. So if you look at QA is feedback as input to AND gate, and input X is given to AND gate. What is the functionality of AND gate? It multiplies the inputs and it gives X into QA. So like that I have compute all the things and I can attain dA equal to X into QA plus QB, dB equal to QA bar into QB, and finally Y equal to X bar QB bar plus X into QA. So the first step in analysis of clocked sequential circuit is to obtain Boolean expressions from the circuit. So once you did this, so you need to construct the truth table. Okay, so truth table is nothing but state table here. So this is the state table, what you have to concentrate on it. Okay, I mean to say that you need to substitute the values of QA and QB and X. So then already you are having, you mean to say that QA and QB and X are the inputs, right? So you need to take these three inputs. So and you need to form the possible combinations. How many possible combinations you will get as a 3 inputs? 8 possible combinations. These are the 8 possible combinations, and you need to substitute QA, QB and X in these formulas, and you need to get the updated. Here the QA and QB and these are all the current state value, I mean present state. So next state will be QA plus QA bar. Okay, so this next state will be obtained by using the these formulas. Okay, next state will be obtained by using the formula, and the output formula is this. So output formula, you can find the output formula y equal to from the formula. Okay, imagine, first you have to imagine that how many input variables are there? 2. So if you have 2 input variables, what you have to do? So how many states you will get in the flip-flop? 4 possible states. So finding of states, S0, I will name them as S0, S1 and S2 and S3. So if you have an awareness on I mean to say that on inputs, so how you can calculate them? How you calculate them? See, in D flip-flop what you have to understand. So D flip-flop is nothing but transparent flip-flop. So if you find DA, automatically QA will be QA equal to DA, right? And DB equal to DB equal to QB. You know, so that's what I am trying to tell you. Like that, I will find the next state values, QA plus QB plus. These are the next state values. So this is the output. So now first you need to construct the current state. So current states are S0, S1, S2 and S3. Current state or present state. So once you know the I mean to say that present state, then you can draw like this. States can be represented with circles. So 4 states are drawn, and this is S1, this is S2 and S3, this is S4. Okay, so now from the state table what you have to do is, so you have to connect the system. So first you look at QA and QB. So at 0 0 state, what is the input? Input is X, that is 0, and X goes to QA. So that means 0 0. So with input 0, with input 0, output is 1. That means there are 2 possibilities here. Those 2 possibilities is there might be a one input and output might be 0 or 1. And if you come to the second, X is equals to 1 case, so at 0 0 only, what would be the output? 0. And coming to 0 1 state, where is 0 1 state? There is 0 1 state. So from 0 1 state to where you have to go to? From 1 1 state. So 1 1 state you need to draw like this. It goes to 1 1 state. What would be the input? Input is 0. What is the output? Output is 0. So that's why I have written input 0 and output 0. And coming to 0 1 case, same, where it has to go? 1 1. Okay, 1 1, but output is 0. Okay, so input is also 1. Okay, so likewise you have to draw all the things. So this is the resultant state diagram. After once the state diagram is drawn, so the job is over. This is the analysis of clocked sequential circuits. This is one more example. I have did the same way, and I have constructed the state table, and later I have drawn the state diagram. This is the analysis of clocked sequential circuits. What you have to do? So first you need to draw the circuit. So once you draw the circuit, you need to find the state table. From the state table you need to find the next state and output. Then you need to draw the state equation, state diagram. This is the way of approach for analysis of clocked sequential circuits. So and then sequence detector. So this is another topic. Sequence detector. The desired sequence can be detected using logic circuit called sequence detector. So what I am trying to tell you? So I am trying to tell you desired sequence can be detected using a logic circuit called sequence detector. This is the block diagram representation of sequence detector. So here is the state diagram for sequence detector. If you look at this, this is the state diagram. So we need to analyze the state diagram. So here I taken some examples. So from the examples, the input sequence is 101101 to be detected. So I have given a set of things. So how many bits are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So how many? It start 5 bits. Last bit is 5. So start with initial state, arbitrary state. Be the state when the last received one symbol in the input sequence is 1, and last two symbols 1 0 and 1 0 1 double 1 1 0 double 1 0 and finally 1. So this is a simple analysis how a sequence will be detected. But I have given the state diagram, right? So the state diagram is built to detect the 0 0 0 0 0 1. So this is my intention to detect. So based on this, I have built the state table. So this is the state diagram. From that I have to build the state table. So how many states are here? A, B, C, D, E, F. So I have these are called the present state. I have listed them. Then so inputs I consider as a x. So x is equals to 0 and x is equals to 1. So let's come to at A state. At A state, how many outgoing branches here? A goes to A. So with input 0, and output is also 0. So here these all are represents the outputs corresponding transition state. Okay. Then the same A goes to B with input 1 and output is 0. So see, A goes to B with input 1, output 0. So next come to B. So what is input? B goes to C. So B goes to C with input 0, with output 0, with output 0. So likewise entire table I have decoded the entire table from here, from the state diagram. Okay, there is no any redundant states here, repeated states. Then once you done this, so what I have to do is A, B, C, D, E, F. So how many bits are there? 6. So this is 3-bit number. So next step, first step state diagram, second step state table, and third step state assignment. So state assignment means A, B, C, D, E, F, we need to assign state. So in this step the following state assignment can be made arbitrarily to the states A to F. There are 6 states. At least 3 state variables are required. That's why I have given states like this. Now we using above state assignment, present state, next state and output can be modified. So present state is 0 0 0 1 1 0 1. These are all the present states. Based on present state, next state will be y3, y2, y1, x equal to 0, x equal to 1. So 0 0 is the present state, and next state will be 0 0 1, and and 101 will be the next state, 0001 and 000. So like that we have to building here. Okay, and finally z equal to what I am trying to tell you here, the next step to select the memory elements. So these numbers will repeat when the x equal to 0, 0 0 0 0 0 1 0 double 0, I mean 0 0 0 1 0 1 0 1 0 0. Like this I am building. Okay, and so how can I do that? So when x equal to 0, so you come to here to understand x equal to 0, what is the value of a 0 0. So like that I have mentioned here all zeros. Next what is the value here? C. What is the value for C? C is 0 1 0 1 0. Look here, I just replace these variables with equivalent state assignment, and I have written corresponding outputs too. If you look at this table, all zeros last one is 1. So here also all zeros last one is 1. These are the outputs. So once we done this, so present state and x equal to 0, x equal to 1. So those are the inputs. So that is called excitation table of sequence detector. By using this table, I mean I'm talking about this table, and what I have to do is from this table I have to find the output. So I mean to say that D2, D2, D3, D2, D1, I want to find the expression. So so this is the simplification of Karnaugh map. That means once represents the information. So that's why I have constructed this K map. Okay, so for 0 0 for 0 0 inputs, I think y1 x and y3 y3 y2. So when x is there, so which one you are having? 1. Okay, so that means y1 is 0 and 0 d1 d2. So x equal to 1 is there. In that time y1 x, so x equals to 0 case. Are you taking all zeros? 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 1. So y is 0, y1 is 0, x is 0 and y3 y3 and y1. So like that we have to build for d3. So this is d3, right, and this is also d3. For wherever you are having ones, for that you are doing this business. Okay, you have to look at the ones. So here d3 is there. In that condition x is 1 and y3 is 1 and y2 and y1 zeros. So this is the corresponding digit. And likewise you have to find the 0 1 0 1 0 1 I mean to say that y1 is y1 x1 and y 0 1. So 0 1, this is the digit corresponding to it. Okay, so like that you need to build for d3 excitation map for d2, excitation map for d3, excitation map for d1, excitation map for d2. So once you find these algebraic expressions, so you need to draw the sequence detector circuit. That's it. So another example, design 010 sequence detector using Mealy machine. So what is a sequence detector? Sequence detector is a sequential state machine which takes an input string of bits and generates an output 1 whenever the target sequence has been detected. In Mealy machine, outputs depends on the present state and the external input. Hence, the diagram output is written to outside the states along with inputs. Sequence detector is of two types. So, overlapping, non-overlapping type. Overlapping sequence detector, the last bit of one sequence becomes the first bit of the next sequence. However, in non-overlapping sequence detector, the last bit of one sequence does not become the first bit of next sequence. So in this example, we will discuss the design procedure for non-overlapping 101 Mealy sequence detector. So non-overlapping case means, see, your sequence is 101, right? Say for example, here is 0 0 1 0 not matched, 1 0 not matched, 101, right? See, overlapping, non-overlapping case 101. So this is 1 1 1 0 1 0 0 1 1 0 0 1 0 0 0 1 1. So here this is 101. These two 101, and you can build with these two also 101. You can build these three also 101. So 1 to 1 is overlapped. Okay, so which means and non-overlapping. So say for example, 101 Mealy sequence, non-overlapping. Design procedure for non-overlapping 101 Mealy sequence. So this is an overlapping case. So where is 101? 3 bits we will do. So this is overlapping case. Non-overlapping case 1, 2, 3. See, this is non-overlapping case. It's 0, 1, 0, 1, 0. So here 0, 0, 1. So this is one non-overlapping case. Okay. This is the see 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1. You are producing 1. So this is a non-overlapping case. So where is where is 1, 0, 1? Here is 1, 0, 1. So it produces output, but it overlapped with another bit. That's the problem. So this is overlapping case, this is non-overlapping case. So that means 1, 0, 1, the corresponding output is this. But here 1, 0, 1, that means we have given 3-bit number, right? That's why I am grouping 3, 3 numbers. So 1, 0, when 1, 0, 1 you got, output is 1. So there is no, these 3 bits are alone. But if you see here, 1, 0, 1 is combined with the first 3 bits also. That's why this is called overlapping case. So to develop such a system, what we have to do is steps to design non-overlapping 101 Mealy sequence detector. Develop the state diagram. So the state diagram Mealy mission for 101 sequence detector is, see, what would be the output? 101 sequence detector, you need to get the output 1. See, this is 1, 0, 1 and 1, 0, 1. This is output 1. Okay. So then I mean to say that wait a second. So this is A, state A, state B, state C. Because 3-bit number, we imagine that there are 3 states are present in it. So once how we can predict the state table from the state diagram? How can I do that? So here I am trying to fetch the information from the state diagram. So A is a state. So 3 states I have mentioned here. And once I have done that, so next what is the next state? These are the first one, and next state will be A. From A to B, from A to B. So what is the output? Output is 0. Input is 1. And at the same time, A to A, A to A, this is A to A to B. So A to A, output is also 0. And coming to B state, in B state, B to B, one case, B to C, another case. So in both the case, output is 0. And C to A is the case, and inputs are 0 or 1. So you will get the output 1 or 0. So this is the thing you need to understand from the state diagram. So once we derive this, so what we have to do is, so you need to code assignment. So state having the same next states for given input condition must have adjacent assignments. Rule 2, state that are next to the a single state must give adjacent alignment. So rule number 1 is given preference over rule number 2. So next, so these are the 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1. So A, B, C. So the remaining everything is same. Make the present state and next state with the D flip-flops. So these are the present states, and next states I can represent X dash, Y dash, and I am imagining that there are two D flip-flops, dx and dy. So input is something 0. So now I consider 3 inputs. So that's why I have framed 8 possible cases. Then next state update will be as for the D flip-flop. So 0 0 you will get 0. Next you have input 1 and you will get 1, and you have input I mean to say that 0 next 0 0, and so y is not updating, right? So like that I have mentioned and build the rest of the table. See, 1 0 means I mean D flip-flop, 2 inputs are one input is 1, another input is 0. So if you give the input 0 1, it will go to it gives x dash is 0 and y is 1, and it is 0 and y is 1, and corresponding input is 1. So in one case, both the cases output is don't care condition in D flip-flop. Okay, these are the D flip-flop inputs. So in this case first one is 0, dx and 1, 3 zeros and 1, and final output is this. Based on the output, I have to I have to find the expression for dx and dy and z. This is the logical circuit diagram. So this is the final circuit for Mealy 101 non-overlapping sequence detector. So when the input is high, whenever the 101 is up here, okay, this is about the sequence detector. And thank you very much for listening me, and all the best for your examinations. Good luck. Thank you very much. This is your Ashok Kajjala.